Rendering list in React. Introduction to rendering list in React. So welcome everyone to today's session. One of the most common tasks you will encounter when developing web application with React is displaying list of data. Whether it is a list of user comments, a gallery of images, or a table of data entries. Knowing how to efficiently render lists is key to creating dynamic and responsive applications. Today, we're diving deep into how we can leverage React along with JavaScript's array methods like map and filter to render these lists effectively. So by the end of this lecture, you will have enough knowledge to display collections of data in your React application seamlessly. Rendering list with map. So let's start with the map function. Map function is a very powerful feature of JavaScript that is indispensable in React development. So say you have an array of items you want to display on your web page. The map function allows us to iterate over this array and transform each item into a React components. So for example, say we have an array of names, we can then transform it into an array of list elements, and each will contain a name from our list. So this syntax itself is straightforward. What we need to do is we need to call map on our array, pass a function that takes each item as an argument. For example, here is a name, and returns a new JSX element for that item. And the result is a new array of React elements that we can embed directly into our JSX with curly braces. This approach allows us to transform data into visual elements efficiently, making our applications dynamic and interactive. Example of map in action. So if we were to look at a practical example, say we have an array called people, and this array is filled with names and profession. So to display this list in our React component, we would first need to use the map function to iterate over this array. For each person, we would need to return a list item element li containing the person's information, such as person name and person profession. So this result is an array of list item elements, which we then include in our components return statement, wrapped inside a UL tag. So this is a simple yet powerful pattern for rendering lists in React. So the key here is to remember that map transforms array items into elements that React can render, allows us to build the UI directly from the data. Filtering lists with filter. So now that what if we want to display not the entire data, but only a subset of the data? This is where the filter function comes into play. Filter allows us to apply a test to each item in an array and return a new array with only the items that pass this test. So, for example, say if we have a mixed list of professionals, such as engineer, designer, artist, and we're only interested in artists, we can then use filter to create a new array that only contains the artist. To do that, we provide a filter with a function that returns true for the items that we want to keep. So in our case, this function checks if a person's profession is artist. Then if it turns out to be true, the result is an array of artists that we can then render using that, just like we did with our entire list. This combination of filter and map is a powerful tool in React, allowing us to control exactly what data gets displayed. Importance of keys in React list. So when rendering list in React, there is an important aspect we must not overlook. Keys. So React uses keys to track items in a list, which is crucial for performance and efficiency, especially when items change, are added, or are removed. So each key has to be unique among its siblings and consistent across re-renders. A common approach is to use IDs from the data as keys if your data has a unique element. So say if you're using map to render a list, we'll ensure each element has a key prop set to a unique value. This helps React optimize rendering by reusing existing elements instead of rebuilding everything from scratch. So this allows React to maintain high performance and avoid issues in dynamic lists. Recap and closing. So to wrap up, we've looked at how to render lists in React using the map and filter functions and the critical role of keys and optimizing list rendering. We've seen how map can transform arrays of data into arrays of React components and how filter allows us to display only the items we're interested in and why keys are necessary for React to efficiently update the DOM. So with these tools in your React toolkit, you should be able to handle dynamic data and create responsive front-end web application. Thank you for joining today's lecture.